We turn now to President Trump speaking with Russian leader Vladimir Putin about how to end the war in Ukraine through negotiations. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Rebecca. Well, President Trump vowed to end the war in Ukraine on day one. Now, 3 weeks in, he is taking his most concrete steps yet to negotiate that ending, starting by reaching out to Vladimir Putin.
This morning, President Trump pledging to meet with Russian President Putin in person after announcing they've agreed to start negotiations immediately to end the war in Ukraine. The president saying their first sit-down could be in Saudi Arabia in the near future.
I'll be dealing with President Putin largely on the phone, and we ultimately expect to meet. In fact, we expect that he'll come here and I'll go there, and we're going to meet also probably in Saudi Arabia.
Trump spending 90 minutes on the phone with Putin Wednesday, talking to him first, then with the Ukrainian president afterwards. Zelensky posting this photo of their call, writing, "Together with the U.S., we are charting our next steps to stop Russian aggression and ensure a lasting, reliable peace." As President Trump said, "Let's get it done." Trump saying the Ukrainian president would likely be involved in a second meeting. Asked if he views Ukraine as an equal in these talks, Trump saying this.
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace.
It's unclear how he would negotiate an end to the nearly 3-year war. Trump asked if he would support Ukraine having to give up territory.
Well, he's going to have to do what he has to do.
Hours earlier, his new defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, speaking at NATO headquarters during his first trip to Europe, was blunt, saying Ukraine's long-sought membership in NATO isn't realistic. Neither is thinking Ukraine can regain all the territory Russia has seized.
We must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective.
Measures that will likely be welcomed by Putin, prompting questions about whether Trump is giving up his leverage to negotiate with Russia. Critics like the president's former national security advisor John Bolton sounding the alarm.
I think we know exactly what's going to happen. President Trump has effectively surrendered to Putin before the negotiations have even begun.
Trump's call to begin negotiations coming just hours after Russia freed a wrongfully detained American teacher. Mark Fogel returning to the U.S. after more than 3 years in Russian captivity, imprisoned for carrying a small amount of medically prescribed marijuana. In exchange, the U.S. releasing Russian cybercrime kingpin Alexander Vinnik. The White House also announcing the release Wednesday of 3 other prisoners from Belarus, including an American who is asked to remain anonymous. We asked the White House if the prisoner exchange and the new push to end the war in Ukraine are connected.
The timing of that is hard to ignore. Was Ukraine discussed as part of this prisoner swap?
I can't comment on whether that came up or not. What I can say is that this was a very good deal for the United States of America and for the rest of the world.
Now, as for when Trump and Putin may meet, that is still unclear. But overnight, Russia announced it is preparing to organize a group to negotiate this meeting. And again, President Trump has said he may go to Russia or Putin may come here as well. And in 24 hours, the vice president and secretary of state are slated to meet with Zelensky. What Ukraine may be willing to give up, sure to be a topic of discussion, George.
Okay, Mary, thanks.